Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial on object-oriented programming in Java. Today's tutorial I'm going to talk about inheritance. Inheritance is one of the 4 features of object-oriented principles, and we are going to talk about that. So what is inheritance? Inheritance is a mechanism by which a class acquires all variables and properties and behaviors of its parent object. So remember, there is a term we are calling that the parent object. And then inheritance represents an is-a relationship, which is also known as parent-child relationship. So remember here another word, that is the type of the relationship is called the is-a relationship, or sometimes called as the parent-child relationship. So that means we have a parent object and we have a child object, and the relationship is called the parent-child relationship. So a sub or child class inherits all behaviors of its parent or superclass and can also add its own behaviors. So what does it mean? It means that a child can inherit all the properties and behaviors of its parent class, and it can also add some new methods of itself. Again, the sub class is sometimes called the child class. On the other hand, the parent class is also sometimes called as the superclass. They are basically same. And then a class declared as final cannot be extended. We can extend a class. There is no problem, but if the class is a final class, we cannot extend that class. So what is the advantage of it? The advantage of it is the code reusability. We are using code of the parent class, so that no need to write a subclass with all attributes defined in parent class. And then what is the syntax? The syntax to write a subclass is that just write class subclass extends parent class. So the keyword here is the extends. So now let's get into more detail of the inheritance. If you look at the picture here, I have here, this is an account class. Okay, and the account class has how many attributes? One attribute is the account number and the other one is account name. And it has one method, get account details. So it has 3 members, 2 attributes and 1 method. And then there is another class that is called the current account class, and in that class we have defined 1 attribute, which is the monthly fee, and then we have 1 method, that is calculate yearly fee. So in this relationship we are calling this one as the parent class and this one as the child class, or this one is called the superclass and this one is called the subclass, and the relationship is called the parent-child relationship, or is a type of relationship. So we can say current account is an account. Okay, again the relationship is called is a relationship. Why? Because we can say current account is a account. Okay, now when we are doing this parent-child relationship, this child class is going to inherit all the features of the account class. So it inherits all the members of its superclass. But remember that if any of the variables are defined as private, the child can't access it. Okay, So that means if this one is private, declared if this method is private, then the child cannot access it. So now I have defined all these as the default or public. So that means this child class, which is a current account class, is having actually how many fields? There are 3 fields: monthly fee plus account number, this is also visible here, plus account name. Okay, and then this current account class is having one method of itself, and apart from that it is also getting this one. So that means the visibility is over here. So now let's go and see that how we are coding it. I have defined here one account class, and you can see there are 2 attributes, string account name and int account number, and then there is a constructor. Okay, and this constructor is used to initialize this account object, and in that I have taken 2 parameters, account number and account name, and they are initialized as follows. And then I have here one method, and then I have, this is my subclass, and you can see that the current account extends account. So this is the keyword, remember, and this one is extending what? This one. And here I have defined a new attribute, which is the monthly fee, and then I have a constructor of the account, current account, and in that I am passing on 3 parameters. Out of those 3 parameters, first I am calling, or first I am invoking the superclasses constructor, and this is how I invoke the superclasses constructor. So if I click on here, super, and then the super is going over here. Okay, so by the word super, I'm invoking that class, means I'm invoking the parent class constructor and initializing the parent object. And then I have here this dot monthly fee, which is initializing this variable, and then it has its own method. So now let's run it. I have one driver class or a test class. If I click on here, and let me comment this out. And if I run it, and you can see that I have created a new instance of current account with these 3 parameters: account number, account name, and the yearly fee. And then I have invoked this method, and see that my reference is for the subclass current account. And with the subclass I can access what? I can access the superclasses method. So that means this superclass method is available in my subclass. And then this method is defined within the method itself. I mean within the child class itself. So when I'm running it, this is the first statement, okay, from the parent class, and then this is coming from the child class, and you can see that I can access both of these with my child class reference. So this is what the inheritance is about, that the child class inherits all the methods and variables until they are not declared as private. Okay, so this type of inheritance, we are calling this to be the single level inheritance. Okay, this relationship can be more than 2. Okay, so let's see one of those examples. In this case, I have created one account, which is the parent class, and this one is extending this, and this one is extending this. So the net effect is that this class is going to have all the members of this class and this class. So that means it has current type amount of its own members. Other than that, it is going to inherit the monthly fee of its immediate parent, and it is also going to inherit the other two attributes, account number and account name, from here as well. And since the relationship is linear, you know, like it's just one single way it is coming, right? It's not coming from here as well. Okay, so Java actually supports this, that you cannot have a relationship other than the linear. Okay, and this type of inheritance we are calling that to be the multi-level inheritance. Okay, and we are making sure, or we need to know, that the subclass can be derived only from one super class. So this one, so if you see this one is deriving from one superclass, and this one is deriving from one superclass. Okay, this one cannot derive from any other class. Okay, that is not permitted. So let's take the example that I have created. I have created another one for in current account.java file or Java class, and you can see that this one is extending current account. Okay, and the current account is extending account. So this is a linear relationship. And then in here I have defined two more variables, currency type, amount, and these two are defined only in the foreign current account or the new class that I have created. Okay, and then this is the constructor, and within the constructor the first thing, our first statement should be the super keyword, and I'm going to invoke the constructor of the immediate parent class. And what is that? If you click on super, it's going over here, and then if I click on super, it's going to the main parent class. So this is also called as constructor chaining, and we are using in this case the keyword super. So now you can see that there is another method defined over here, and which is the get foreign account detail. This method is for this class only. So if I am going to run it, let's go to my driver class, and I am going to comment this out. Okay, and you can see that I have created an instance or new object of the foreign current account, which is the child class of our current account. And then within that reference fc dot, I'm trying to invoke the parent classes method, because this is available in my child class. Okay, so there is no problem. And then I'm invoking another parent class method, and I'm invoking the method of the class itself. So when I'm going to run it, let's see what happens. And you can see that these two are being invoked from the parent classes method, because they are available in our child class, and this one is from the child class itself. Okay, we can have another type of inheritance, and which is called the hierarchical inheritance, in where we are going to have a parent. This is a parent, and then this is this child, and you can see this is one sibling and this is another sibling. So this one has a method calculate yearly fee, and this one has a method get rate and get interest amount. Okay, when both this one, let's say this is number 1 and this is number 2, both of them are inheriting all these members of the parent class, but the methods and the variables defined over here are not available in here, or the methods and variables defined here are not available here. This is what we need to remember, and this type of inheritance we are calling that the hierarchical inheritance. So let's see one example that I have created another account that is called the savings account, and which is coming from the parent class account. Now if I go to savings account, there are 2 variables that I have defined and I have one constructor, and as I have said that it has to invoke the super method first, and the super keyword, the super constructor, is invoking the constructor of the parent class. And then I have 2 methods over here. Now if I go to my driver class again, this is my driver class, and let me comment these 2 out. And then that's it. So you can see that I have created a saving account object, and I'm passing on 4 parameters, and whenever I'm passing on 4 parameters, these 2 parameters are being used to invoke the constructor of the superclass, which is the account class. And then I'm invoking this method, which is defined actually in the parent class but is available in my child class, and the child class is the savings account. And then this method, these 2 methods are defined in the child class itself. So when I'm going to run it, let's see. And you can see that this is executed. Okay, so that's all about our inheritance. Again, the inheritance can only be done when the class is not a final class. So if I am going to make this as a final class, in that case, let me save it, and you'll see like there are a lot of errors because when a class is a final, you cannot extend it. Okay, and the keyword here is extend. That means we are extending our subclass from a superclass. The subclass is also called as the derived class, and according to the inheritance we get all the properties and attributes. As long as they are not private, we can get those in our child class from the parent class. That's it for today. Thank you.